This is where I grew up. This is the apartment on Bedford Street, and we moved here in 1971 when we came from Turkey. When I came, this was just a small little tree, but you could see how big it is now. Kind of cool. Looks like they've renovated it. Not sure what's going on with it, but they have a fence there. There never used to be a fence there before. Just go to the backyard. We lived in one of these up here in the front first, and then afterwards we lived on the second floor on that balcony there. You can see a little bit of a thing. That building behind looks like there's a new building being built there. That wasn't there before. Very interesting. This is Bedford Street. Kind of shows you a little bit. Winter time, this place be packed. I had a friend named Stevie that lived across the street over there. It shows you the street. I'm going to walk down to the school from here. Okay, so this used to be an alleyway here. This building was not here. This is a brand new building, but I used to ride my bike down this alley through there, and there weren't any steps before, but it was a pretty cool little hill, so when you rode your bike down it was pretty fast. But that is brand new. Hasn't been there for very long. Looks like it's just still being built. I imagine it's part of the school. And then that is the school I went to, Bedford School, but it does not look the same as when I grew up. This was all from all over there. That alleyway through was a playground where we had the basketball nets. These are all brand new basketball nets. Wow. There were trees here too. You see that tree there? There's a bunch of those trees. You can see they're huge right now. But there were trees here as well. Looks like they cut a bunch of them down. And there. Now, the interesting part is I lived across the street, right there, in that building at one time. And that was the second apartment block that we moved to. And so I lived right across the street from the school, right there. That's kind of like the old building part of what the school used to look like. You can see these trees are super old. Look at that. Been around for a long time. I remember right here, this kid David punched me in the eye out of the blue. Don't know why, but he did. And it was kind of just a sucker punch. First time I got hit there. Also, first time I got onto a big 10-speed bike, had to climb onto the fence to get onto the seat. It was this one guy's bike. Fences are brand new as well, and the steps. Really interesting. So that was the second. We lived on the second floor. The one in the middle, that's where we lived. That was the other apartment building. It was the last one we lived on here on Bedford Street in Montreal. And then we moved, but that was our other one there. I'm going to go down here because this is where I used to play in the back alley. Yeah. Laundry mat. And here we go. You can see that there's a back alley here. I don't know how I'm going to get through. So this was the back alley where we used to play behind the building. You can see that was a fire escape. You got this little thing going down. But this is where I used to play. There's a fence here, and this is I'm not sure what is here, but there's a plant here. You can see the back alley here. And that's where we used to play, in this back alley here. Alright, well, I'm walking through the back alleyway. There's another alley here you can see. And coming up by the school again. Bedford Street. There were lots of other people that we knew on the street at that time that lived here. Hi, Mr. Squirrel. How are you? Across the school, right over here, this is the school. And you can see, I remember going in through here, and I think my grade 1 class was in that building there. When we were little, we played in this yard here. I remember getting jumped by a bunch of kids here in the yard at one time. Yeah, that's it. There we go. This is the school. Kind of neat. This is all new here. But you can see how the old building there is Bedford School. I don't know if they call it Bedford School anymore. We'll see. We had this alleyway that went up to the other street, which is Goye, and there were some other people who lived on that street as well. And of course, I'm mainly doing this so that it's a record of, where you grew up. Everybody's got a story. My story started here in Canada in 1971. Immigrated from Istanbul, Turkey. So I just want to show you where I kind of grew up. You can see the different places over here. And I remember this building here. I had a friend that lived in that building. His name was Saadun. And I used to go to his place and we put on the boxing gloves and beat the crap out of each other. Yep, there it is, man. There it is. Bedford. Look at the playground. My goodness. That is the school where I grew up, where I went to till grade 5. Yeah, Bedford School. I know so many other kids that went to the school too at that time. But there you go. Bedford School. So that's the front entrance of Bedford School. You can see the old wood still that way. And it looks like they're doing a whole renovation there. $18.8 million, 15 classes, 1 library, and 1 gymnasium. Wow, look at that. Already changed, already different than it used to be. Kind of crazy. Wow. So I'm just walking by Bedford School right now, and this part of the building looks pretty new, as you can see. Windows and everything there. Even that extension, that was never there. Pretty crazy. And we're on Goye Street. Let's see here. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go down this way here. I guess I can go down. It's not blocked off. I used to ride my bike down this whole thing, and it was, of course, it wasn't nice like this. It's kind of crazy, actually. But yeah, this building's brand new. Looks like they're still working on it. Wow, look at that. And that is Bedford Street, so you can see what it looks like there. These trees, when I was a kid, were really small, but as you can see, many years later, they have grown huge. And my cousin used to live in that building right there. Yeah, if you're watching this, that's the apartment that you grew up in Bedford. Looks like they're doing some renos. They got scaffolding up there and stuff. But yeah, that's we stayed there for a couple of weeks when we first came, and stayed with my aunt, my cousin, and her dad, and then yeah, that's Bedford Street right there. I'm back at the apartment where we first moved into. You can see it's been renovated and stuff, but I want to tell you a story here. This is really interesting. This I call the money tree. This is a smaller tree. It had a lot of grass. This was lots of grass at one time here. And this tree here produced money right at the bottom of it. And the story is there's a bunch of guys that were trying to rip off the laundry mat in the building, and I guess they ran out and somehow they ended up storing it at the bottom of this tree, and the grass was covering it. And one day I was just there and I saw a shiny thing, and yep, there's a bunch of quarters and dimes and nickels and whatever else that was in the laundromat. But that's why I call this the money tree. A money tree. I think I made like $10 or $20 at that time. It's pretty cool. Anyways, that was the house I grew up in. This is the apartment. Those are mailboxes. And there are the entranceway. You can see the marble floors are still here. Pretty cool. This was the barber shop I used to go to as a kid. It's changed. I think it's changed owners now, but that's where I used to go as a kid for the barber shop. And in that corner, there's a restaurant there now. There used to be a kosher bakery there once upon a time. Yeah. And in the corner there was a dépanneur, a little shop where you could buy stuff. Across the street over there used to be a car wash, a hand car wash. And now, of course, you can see it's condominiums.